Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are here. This is Seneca Waugh with your Clear Next Step. And I am here with my dear friend and colleague, Lynn Swanson. Lynn, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here.
This is so great. So we get a chance, for those of you who are watching this online, we get a chance to spend a few minutes with Lynn right now. We're going to be talking about the upcoming workshop, Level Up. Now, this Level Up workshop is so cool and features three different presenters. If you didn't get a chance to hear Barb Rank yesterday, jump back over to yesterday's Facebook Live and take a look at that. And today we get to hear from Lynn Swanson. So Lynn, we're going to just jump right on in talking about the level up session. And when you think about your portion and the pieces that you are really reaching in that audience, who should be there? I mean, who should be listening? Who should be tuning in right now to say, oh, I need to attend that?
Yeah, it's funny when I think about who should be there. I feel like the better question is who shouldn't attend, because the answer to that is, if you don't want a better workday, then you probably shouldn't join us. But otherwise, I mean, I'm excited about it. As we both know, we had a session a few months ago, last fall, I guess it was, and we had great discussion, great presentations. It was fun. It was energizing. We got to meet a lot of great participants. So yeah, I feel like, if you don't want to make your workday better, then I guess maybe you don't want to invest the time.
Yeah, but otherwise, man, you
But
should.
otherwise, join
So,
us.
yes, and I love the way that we put together Level Up because it brings together three very different perspectives. I mean, you and Barb and Kay are different. You bring different levels of expertise, different disciplines, different domains to the conversation, different journeys that you've been on, and you each have such valuable pieces to share to help us all have those better workdays, right? Level up wherever we happen to be. And in some cases, it's leveling up to the next role. In some cases, it's leveling up to a role outside of our organization. In some cases, it's leveling up to bringing our best and most authentic selves to today's conversation in wherever we find ourselves. So it's not just for people who are looking for a job. It's not people who are dissatisfied. It's for people who want to have that better workday, right?
That's right. That's absolutely correct. You could be anywhere in your journey. We've obviously we've met and worked with participants that are, 2, 3 years into their journey, and they're wanting to make sure that not only that they're sort of starting off on the right foot, but that they, sort of put a path or, I guess a path in front of them that they want to pursue. We've obviously met and worked with participants who are sort of mid-career, who are looking back and saying, okay, well, this is what I've done, but does this define necessarily where I'm going? And then obviously, as you well know, and participants that have worked with me, I thoroughly enjoy working with people that are sort of, reaching the end of that path and sort of saying, what is next? So yeah, absolutely. It's delightful to have that opportunity to work with people no matter where they find themselves in their career.
Absolutely. So speaking of careers, let's talk a little bit about your career, your journey, your story, and what is it that you're bringing to the table? What's part of your passion, if you will, and part of your story that comes up so clearly in your portion of Level Up?
I like that you use the word passion, because I really think that defines, not just for myself, obviously for the other presenters as well. I know that they are equally, if not more passionate, but that really does define, I think, where I am and why I so enjoy this aspect of my career path. Because my journey has been, I sort of wound my way through corporate. You and I crossed paths a couple of times, I think, and uh, my experiences are what, obviously, with everyone, your experiences are what define you. But as a project manager, especially, I have taken the time to go back and I kind of inventory my experiences, and I categorize them, and I put them sort of in an order, if you will. And because I do those types of things, that's how I like to then work with others to help them to take advantage of some of those tools, some of those, I'll use the tips and tricks, to help kind of put some perspective. I know you and I have used kind of the term bumper guard from time to time, and that's what you can help people sort of put those bumper guards down to say, where do I kind of want to stay and where do I not want to kind of, bleed over, if you will, into something. And so, yeah, my experiences, the way that I look back on my career and the experiences that I bring with me, I think that has really built the passion in me to work with others and to, hopefully help them to have the so that they don't have to necessarily go through some of those experiences. They can take take that from others who can say, hey, here's some things maybe that I learned that you don't have to scrape your knees to get there.
To get there. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and I would say, for those a couple, I'll just do a couple little shout outs here for those of you who are in the Project Management Institute Central Iowa chapter. So if you are PMI Central Iowa chapter, in fact, if you are PMI anywhere and you've ever enjoyed a training or a piece of volunteerism or any support that I have ever provided the chapter, you have this woman right here to thank. So Lynn Swanson is the one who said, so speaking of level up, like all those years ago, we won't share exactly how many years ago it was, but all those years ago, I came to you, we were working together on something, and I came to you and I don't know that I was using the words level up or you were using the words level up,
Probably not.
but that was the message. The message was, okay, Seneca, you got here. Now here, how do you level up to the next level? And so your encouragement to me was to get involved in the PMI chapter and go see. And you also made this really wonderful nugget that it doesn't surprise me at all that spreadsheets are part of your tools, because you also made this really wonderful nugget. You're like, right now, start capturing your history of project experience, because you're going to need it when you sit for that. When you apply for that exam, you're going to need this spreadsheet that has all the data. And man, if you had not told me to do that,
Mhm.
I'm not sure I would have had the stomach when it came time to apply for the exam. So thank you.
Well, it can be daunting, but yeah, I love that story, and I think you give me far too much credit. But though, that's those are the types of experiences that we want to have with our clients and with our participants in these types of sessions and so forth. Share some of the wisdom from the number of years, and just help people to. I just love kind of that catchphrase with your clear next step about better work days. I truly am passionate about that statement, and I feel that we can help people get there. Again, if you can, it kind of help them. I feel like I've developed a new catchphrase now. Help them not scrape their knees so much.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at the tactics, the logistics, the ins and outs. How does the session go? If someone's going to sign up for your portion, well, they're going to sign up for the whole day, but
Yeah.
at some point in there, they're going to spend time, or the half day, but at some point they'll spend time with you. What can they expect from your session?
So I think that the session really flows very nicely. We have Barb who talks about, and I kind of wanted to glance on my notes here so I don't get it wrong, but she talks about green zone and red zone and how to kind of stay in the green zone. And when Barb shared that information, I just felt like, oh my gosh, that just so ties nicely into some of the things that I like to talk about in my sessions, which particularly are around energizers and drainers. So know where you are today by categorizing, inventorying, exploring your energizers and your drainers, because that's what helps to define where you want to go in the future. So I love that Barb talks about the red zone, the green zone, and how to stay in that green zone, and how that fits so nicely with energizers and drainers. And then another component that we'll work through in my portion of the session is talking about exploring your opportunities, and sort of what do you need to take with you in order to identify a good fit between sort of where you've been, where you are, and where you want to go. And again, I just love that you've sandwiched me between Barb and her red zone, green zone, and then we have Kay who's talking about building your brand. And that brand, again, just ties so nicely into looking at, again, with my session, sort of where you've been, who you are, there's that brand, and then how that all takes you to your next level of opportunities. So that kind of gives you a little insight into what I'm doing, but I feel it just ties so nicely into the other sessions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that you set that up so beautifully, because that was very intentional, right? You are three different people with different perspectives and bring so much. And when you put the three together, you go, "Oh my gosh, this is it. This is a star-studded day."
Yes,
Absolutely.
kismet.
It is. So people who've been through this session, I know we had this session in the fall and had a chance, or summer last year. We held it last year and had a chance to hear feedback from participants who were in it then. And then I know you've had various versions of your own coaching that you do from that's a build off of one of these sessions. But what kind of feedback? What do other people who've been through this kind of thing in the past? What have they said? What have you heard that's kind of cool?
Yeah. Excuse me, what I like to hear from participants, particularly those that I've worked with, but also from this session, um, we in my session we spend a fair amount of time talking about skill sets. And
Mhm.
again, that's kind of your history. It's what you're doing today, but it's also that where you've been. And I'm always just so energized and overjoyed when I hear people after we are done talking about collecting your skill sets and understanding the different categories of skill sets and what type of skill sets employers are looking for. So, in other words, those transferable skills. I just love hearing people saying, I never thought about that. I never thought about how important my skills are, or even more energizing for me is when someone says, when I sat down and did that exercise of kind of categorizing or inventorying my skill sets, I was shocked, I was surprised, I had no idea um the background that I have. And that's just so we all have a fantastic skill set. It's just you have to understand what do you bring to the table, and then of course you need to be able to talk about, and there's Kay and her build your brand. You need to talk about, why is it important? Why How am I going to bring that to now your table, future employer, and you know, be a successful match.
Yeah, I love that idea too about we've each had our own journey and that we have all of these. We don't have to have worked at multiple employers to have gained a whole bunch of different skills.
No.
I think one of the things we're seeing in the market right now, I think would be naive not to notice it, is that we're all things are being asked of us in a new way, right? We have to show up differently at work with virtual and remote and hybrid working situations and different demands, and the way supply chain is impacting many of the things that we're working on, and the way the labor force and the labor shortage in many cases is impacting what we're doing, and we're being asked to show up in a different way. Well, what a great moment now. Even if you're planning to stay in your current employer, you're not going anywhere, but
Right.
you need to level up because you need to show up in a new way because of all the things that have just happened over the last couple of years. This is a great way to take an inventory. Okay, what are all the things I can do? What are all the things I'm good at? What are the things that energize me?
It is. It absolutely is. And it's just you don't necessarily get into a rut, but it's so easy to just show up every day and forget about these fantastic things that you are bringing to your role. They may feel mundane, they may not be celebrated, but if you step away and take a look at those, someone does want to celebrate those with you. Someone does want to, again, help transfer those to a new opportunity perhaps. And again, you're absolutely right, you don't have to have had an experience or a background of multiple companies, even multiple roles. But you still have an inventory of skill sets that you are bringing to your role that are important to recognize and to, again, celebrate, but then also, potentially to market them as needed.
As needed. Absolutely. So you have been through this. It's I keep calling it a day, but it's really a half day. It's in the morning, and you've seen the whole thing. And you keep alluding to the pre and the post, the things that happen before you, and then there's your session and case session after. Favorite moments? Any moments that you went, ah, that was so cool from the last time?
I after we were done with the session, the kind of the formal portion of the session,
Mhm.
we invited folks to stay around a little bit, and so it was nice to just have those discussions and those conversations, and to hear sort of a day in the life maybe from someone who's participating and wants to share a little bit more about themselves and what brought them there. That's always fun. We enjoy what we do, we're passionate about what we do, but it's really about working with folks, with working with the participants, understanding their day and what brings them. And I just truly enjoy that aspect.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as we think through, we're getting close to time here. We're going to be wrapping up, but let's lighten it up a little bit. So something fun that our participants, our listeners, our audience ought to know about Lynn Swanson. With Barb, I asked, morning beverage. Is it coffee? Is it tea? What is it? And for you, is it a particular, by the time they hear you, it's not first thing in the morning anymore. So whatever beverage wakes you up, you've had that. What should our participants know about Lynn that might be a little bit fun for them to know coming in?
Oh my. In fact, I went to a social yesterday, and I thought I knew the people there sort of well, but anyway, I had to leave because I was going to band practice, and and people just get a kick out of that. Their band practice. Yes, I play in several bands, and yes, I play drums in a polka band, and so that's kind of funny. Never thought my younger self never thought that my not so younger self would be playing drums with a polka band. In fact, I play with two polka bands. Um, so that's kind of fun, I think, just because it usually takes people by surprise, and it always makes us chuckle. Makes me chuckle every time too.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So for our level up, which we'll put the information down in the links below so you can follow the links. So if you're watching right now, when you come and sign up for level up, Lynn, we're not going to be polkaing though, right?
I don't think we will. The drums are on a different level of, we're all at home still doing this. So yeah, unless you want to go with me to the basement, we probably won't do that.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. But we will definitely level up. Lynn, thank you so
Well,
much for your time today.
thank you so much. I enjoyed it very much.
Absolutely. It's been a joy. So thank you for all of you who are tuning in, watching. On behalf of all of us here at Your Clear Next Step, we hope the rest of your day is even better.